Yo, what up? Jesus. Welcome back, Nerds and Virgins. Um, Today we're talking about something and showing off a couple items I've had. Maybe you guys have seen them in videos before, and behind me, obviously, you see a lot of things, a whole lot of shit. But in particular, we're talking about graded items today. I don't have very many, but I want to discuss them because they seem to be a hot topic for people. If grading is worth it, if it's a scam, if it's bullshit, what's the point of it? I've heard a lot of these people discuss it. So we're going to most common one, which are cards. This one's by a WCG. Honestly, the more popular card companies to grade is PSA and Beckett, but this is basically what you get besides that little rattle. I just got it off of eBay. It was like $40. Thought it was cool. Like the card, and that's about it. But I don't know if this grading is actually accurate, just because the card does look a little beat up on the inside. But regardless, most of the time you get a card like this, and it's in a slab like this. And, you get a grade on the top. And some people may wonder what's the purpose of this. The cards are meant to be played. Or whatever, right? But some people don't necessarily want to... Some people don't necessarily have time to play them. Or some people just appreciate the art. Like, I know this card is actually extremely hard to play in the actual game. And some people really just don't find enjoyment in playing Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. I know personally me, if I'm playing with my I sometimes play with my older brother. Every now and then we'll play, like, once in a while. When, when we have nothing to do and, like, I happen to be over at his place. We'll play. I'll bring, my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and he brings out his fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and boom, But I feel that card grading overall is cool just because, to me, the number one thing that I love about grading, besides, like I said, this one, it doesn't really count to me just because it's a shitty slab. But most of the time, if you get PSA, get a good company, right, to grade it, it keeps it from getting damaged, is my main thing, especially if you want to preserve cards, you want to preserve history, and you want it to be a good grade, because that means it's good, it's the best possible want a card to look at in the best condition, because obviously you want to preserve them as well as you can. So it's just nice to be able to do it like this. You can have $500 cards, $1,000 cards, and if you have kids or just people coming in your collection room here and there, they go to pick it up and there goes a scratch, or or they drop it and it falls asleep. Versus if I drop this, I do have carpet in my room, but still it wouldn't necessarily get damaged, even though this one probably will, because that. And the cool thing about graded cards is this one has a crack on it, but if it was by PSA, I could send this back and get them to re-put a whole freaking little plastic thing on it, and it would still stay the same grade. They would just re-slab it, fix that, and that'd be it. Okay, on to the next one. We have comics. So some people don't like this because, well, people feel as if that comics should be read and whatnot. And I semi-agree, but at the same time, we're getting to the age where you can read comics online. And while I'm still someone who prefers to read them physically, I mean, there's my manga, there's a whole little shit ton of comics there, big bunch there. I do still appreciate the comics being graded, and because, in particular, right, here's my thing. Comics, excuse me, are usually mass produced. Every now and then you just get like a special edition cover that is like limited. But for the most part, they're mass produced. So, and they're re-released all the time. But to have an original, to have it graded and have a really nice cover, and again, just preserving history of the things is really cool. And, I really, really just love this. This is obviously Mighty Mouse #1. Dynamite Comics presents. And, yeah, I really love this thing. Mighty Mouse is an old school cartoon character that I just really like. But yeah, these are all items that have just been in my collection, but I'm just kind of wanting to talk about grading items in general. And a lot of people say graded items aren't worth it, which I could see what you mean by that in certain aspects. But if you want a good condition of something, then you probably want to get graded, especially if you don't plan, if you just want to have it on display, then I feel graded is the way to go. In a certain way, I don't care about prices as well. For a lot of people do, but for me in particular, I'll grade things. I'll send things in to get graded, even if it's not necessarily worth that much. Because for me, I'm gonna keep it in my collection. There's very few things I buy with just the purpose to sell, unless I know it's. Here's the thing. If you know anything about Funkos, you know a Tupac Pop is worth a lot of money. I have one, but if I was to find one in, let's say, a flea market or somewhere for like $5, I'd be stupid to pass up on it, even if I already have it. I'd most definitely would buy it and resell it, or sell it, and yeah, resell it. And I would obviously charge a whole lot more because it's worth a whole lot more. But for me, if I find, I don't know, say a fucking Mulan or, you know, some character like that, oh, it's worth $20 and I have it, do I really want to buy it? No, not in particular, just because even to resell it, it takes a bit, because people forget that for Funkos, at least most of the time, there's a whole lot out. Well, well, obviously some of them are limited, but usually, and for common pops, there's a whole lot out there. So if you're trying to sell it at the price it's at, most of the time it won't sell right away. Excuse me. Unfortunately. So it just becomes a big hassle. But I don't even know where I was going with this point, to be honest. Oh, with just reselling. But so for me personally, I usually buy. My whole point is, unless it's worth a whole lot of money, I won't buy a product just to resell it. Just not me. And I'll straight up just send things to get graded, even if they're not really worth it. By the way, both of these items I have bought and graded. I just bought graded. I did not send them in to get graded. The only item I have sent in to get graded is the next item. And I actually do plan on sending I do plan on sending some cards to get graded eventually in this coming year. And some games actually as well. And I know that's kind of a, I don't want to say controversial, but something that some people disagree with. And on to that, this is the only thing I have ever sent in to get graded. I sent another thing in as well, but they couldn't grade it because it was just an autograph and it wasn't an official card. But this is Backyard Wrestling 2, sealed, graded, obviously by Wata. Hold on a second here. Just okay. Now that I have it out of that little plastic thing, we'll talk. It's a 9.8 A+. I bought the game originally just for the purpose of getting it graded, and main reason for that was because I am a huge New Jack fan. And if you don't believe me, I have all of his figures, I think, besides one. I don't have the No News, and I don't have the non-bloodied version of the New Jack Mego figure, because I used it for a custom that is over here. But yeah, this is one of the only games he has a cover on. This and the original ECW game, or the second. I think it's the original or second to the sequel original ECW game. Regardless, though, this is the one where he looked the most cool, in my opinion. And I know it's kind of a hot topic that some people don't really care for graded games. And, you know, I saw a video about it the other day, and they said the only thing you're really protecting, or the only thing you really get out of the game, out of preserving history, is the wrap seal. Like, the whole point of games is to play them, and all this and this and this. And I extremely have to disagree, because here's my thing, right? This game is sealed, so why open it? There's a million different copies out there that are opened. And not only that, and he brought up a point of, oh, how do you know that there's just no game inside? Well, I don't know if you've ever held a game before, but I can tell just by holding the game if it has a game in it. I'm guessing this game has a game in it. Sure enough, I am right. So, and that goes double, like, even for, like, box console games, you know, from back in the days. If I was to get, the only game I would say, the only console, not console, but the only type of game box I'd be worried about that with would be a DS game. So this one doesn't have it in it, and I couldn't tell. But for most games, I feel as if you are pretty goddamn sure, just by weighing it like this with your own hand, you can tell that there's a fucking game inside. At least in my opinion. And the whole thing isn't just about preserving the plastic. While sure, that does get graded. My whole main thing about why I like this graded is because I don't want to open this. I don't want to play this. I just want this up on a shelf. And I don't want someone opening this and getting into it and fucking it up. And that's the whole thing, especially with old school cardboard games. When back in the days when they came in fucking cardboard, like the, hold on. Give me 1 second and I'll give an example. Sorry about that. As an example, this game. This is a Game Boy Advanced sealed Scooby-Doo 1 and 2. This is a sealed Game Boy game. This is one of the items I definitely plan on sending in to get graded. It isn't in the worst and it isn't in the best condition. There is some like stuff up here. Looks like it's just pushed in a little bit. Isn't the greatest copy, right? Like I'm not expecting this to get a 9.8. I think it maybe get a 9, maybe an A seal. That'd be my prediction. But with this in particular, if I was to leave this right here, and one of my friends was to come into the room and open it, like that would piss me off so much because, and like or a kid was to come in, right? Because I have people come over a lot. You know, some people have kids, and you know I don't mind when they show them my stuff. Of course, I do get annoyed if they go and try and grab something that the parent asks, or if a friend of mine like who has a kid like tries to ask, "Oh, can I, you know, have something?" Like, no, fuck. But you know, especially that's why I'm saying with cardboard games in particular, though, it's just you really want to make sure because you can. The difference is you can literally legit like punch this game box, and nothing really happened to it. You can't even tell I just punched it, right? Versus if I was to do the same to this is fucking cardboard. So I'm not gonna do that to this, but just, you know, I guess that's even an example. This is a fucking, you know what? I'm not even gonna do it with that. I don't know. I want to I want to show an example, but I don't really particularly have anything around me that's cardboard that I feel like crushing. But just to me, it's preserving not only the seal, but it's just preserving history. Like there's gonna be a copy that works perfect. You know, there's gonna be this copy that is preserved, and it's going to be in this forever, and it's not going to be messed up. And it's more about protecting the items to me than it is about getting, oh look, I got a 10. Like I don't really trip on that too much, as long as it gets okayish. So like I'd be happy if this got like a 9, just because I felt like this. I legit predicted this was going to be a 9.8 and an A plus. I thought it would actually be an A plus plus, to be honest. When I did get this unfortunately I did do this when I did not film this. This was before I like really started making videos, but this was just something I want to talk about. Something else that people started to grade is not even. I've seen an actual graded Funko, but usually it's just usually actually an authenticated autograph, which is basically in a slab, and they slab a Funko. So as an example, Give me 1 second here. I gotta just grab a couple of things off of this. This Kurt Angle pop that is signed by the man himself. What they would do is they would basically put this in a permanent slab, like one of these, and just either authenticate the autograph, and they actually grade the autographs. Like, I guess on like what Kurt Angle's perfect autograph would look like, right? They take that and they would compare it to this, and they'd be like, oh, well, can this one compare to that one? It's like a 7, or it's an 8, or it's a 9, you know. Sometimes they're in a rush, so it's, really bad looking. I actually went to a convention for this one to get it signed. My encounter with Kurt Angle was rather awkward. He just, not to talk shit, but he just seemed pissed off, and I was kind of scared because this is an Olympic gold winner. He's broken his neck and could, like, legit probably pick me up and slam me like it was fucking nothing and put me through the table. Like, he looked like he wanted to put someone through the table. I don't know why he looked so annoyed. The man himself was cool, but back onto the topic of grading and everything. But that is something that they do now, which is just grade the autograph. Even though I have actually seen a pop that was graded, which confused me because it was of a newer Tupac pop, and it confused me because I saw it on eBay, but it was just, it confused me because I don't, the reason I say it confuses me is because with cards and with games, for the most part, you look at the surface, they judge by the surface, and I guess even with cardboard games, it is kind of a, it's going to kind of contradict that as well, even though I just try to somewhat defend it. But with me, with Funkos, it's a bit weird that you grade them just because you don't know if there's a crease on the inside. You don't know if, something else and maybe on the inside it's like somewhat messed up, or just like it's got a wrinkle in the inside, or there's some miscoloration in the inside of the pop. The Funko Pop itself. Are we grading the box? There's all kinds of things just that you have to take account. For, which I wouldn't understand how you would grade it. And I know that some people grade like actual action figures now, and with that, I don't particularly like it. I may get, honestly, I wouldn't even consider getting one just because of how pricey they are. If you're like a millionaire, maybe, or you make a like shit ton of money, like I could see how someone would have it as a novelty, just like one item, like it's like their favorite fucking toy growing up, and like that's the only one they have. I could see that, but as far as just getting like more newer toys graded, I would say no, personally. Like, even with, like I said, there's just a lot of things to take into account for as far as grading them, but would I say it's particularly bad grading them? No, because I collect them in the boxes. I don't particularly have too many outside of them, besides ones that I bought and outside of them, and some that I had when I was younger, like this Ted that I just opened. I have a prototype of Nacho Libre, who just didn't come with a box at all. Those I bought, those Ninja Turtles and Shredder one I just bought outside a box. And yeah, so there's just things, like I said, I don't particularly horrible thing if we started to grade them. There's just to me, there's just a lot of things that would go into it that I don't understand how we would. But if they were to say, oh, we're grading the box, or we're doing this, I don't know, in some way, if they could, right? If maybe they were like, okay, we're grading the pop and the box. But again, with the box, it's a little weird because it could have a crease on the inside and shit. So it's just like a hard thing. But I wouldn't necessarily be mad if they started to do it, just because I definitely wouldn't pay for them myself. Like, maybe I'd send some in to get graded, but I would definitely never just go out my way to buy a graded pop just so I can be like, yeah, I got a perfect 10 like pop. It's just, I don't know, it wouldn't particularly be my suit. Like, I'm willing to buy graded items, but the thing is, with me being graded, I'm not buying them for too expensive. This was like $70, not too expensive. This was like $40, like I said. And this, like I said, I sent in myself. I bought it, had the intention of doing that. And I have more things I actually want to send in to get graded this coming year. And you know what? Let me show those off. Just one quick second. Boop. Okay, so sorry. This coming year, I want to grade some of these. There is some other things that I've considered getting graded. And this would be one of them, even though it is a movie. But I know Wada grades them, if I'm not wrong. And this is The Exorcist. It's sealed, and the seal isn't the greatest. I wanted to put it in like a protector, but the issue is the protectors I bought are meant for PS2 games. And since you guys already seen these are two things that I would want to get graded. This is Rumble Rose, just a wrestling game that was on the PS2 that is really enjoyable to me, at least in my opinion. It's basically, it runs, I forget the wrestling game and the engine runs off. I think it was Here Comes the Pain 2, which is like a great wrestling game. And it runs on that engine, except it has an all-female cast. What the hell? I hope that's just the plastic inside the damn game. I mean, not inside the game. Oh, it just got a chip here, so it's probably... Okay. I was a little worried there, sorry, but I guess a chip of the outside plastic protector broke, and it's just kind of moving around a little bit, and that's what's like I'm hearing. So I was just a bit worried about that. Yeah, but it runs on that engine, like I said, but the whole cast are of unique female characters, which admittedly are extremely sexualized, but it's Konami. I mean, come on. Basically, a wrestling game that runs on the SmackDown Here Comes the Pain 2 engine with cute anime girls. And here's the other game, which is the Japanese version of Backyard Wrestling 2. And this one also does have New Jack on the cover, but it has this Japanese girl, I'd assume a Japanese wrestler, and an ICP member who I forget which one is which. I think it's Violent J. Yeah, Violent J is that one. So I'm not too particularly big of a fan of theirs, but just by the way, the reason you probably saw the figure of him, the reason I had it was for I wanted to actually get a figure for every single person that was in this game, until I found that it was impossible. And I also heard some comments that ICP made after New Jack's passing, which I thought was a really scummy move, considering the fact they never opened their mouth about him until he passed. Just shows how big of bitches they were and how much they kind of feared him. But yeah, this was definitely something that I considered grading. There's a cassette tape and a CD I also have that I've considered, but I'm not sure if Wada grades those or anybody grades those. But yeah, besides that, I do have some cards. These were some ones that I wanted to, but I had to put to the side just because this one was for money cost, not because it's too expensive, but just there's so many that I have, and I have 2 other cards of her, so I just can't. This is a Subaru from Mile Chiki, in case you're wondering. This Naruto card, which has Sakura, Ino, Tintin, I forget her name, and Hinata. Shikamaru's wife, I don't really remember her name. Terumi? Yes, Terumi. That's what her name was. But what I found out about these cards is they're basically just Dojin cards. Like, they're not official cards, so unfortunately I can't get this graded, like, by any company, unless it's, I think it's like BCCG, which, I mean, that card company just gives pretty much everything 10s. It's like the ones that you found up, like the Walmart. Like, you'd find those in a Walmart, like little mystery packs of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, if you ever saw those advertised with, like, oh, it comes with a graded card, it wasn't PSA. It was like of those, even though it showed a PSA on the cover. And then this is Uzaki-chan card of a APTC card. It says not for sale. Sorry, I keep wiping my nose. You know what? Hold on, I'm gonna blow my nose real quick. That's why I keep wiping it. Give me 1 second, you guys. Jesus, I'm sorry. Okay, back to this. I'm a huge Uzaki-chan fan. I'm at my manga. The last manga I think for me just got shipped out. Got all 7 right there, but number 8's coming actually through Amazon tomorrow, so that's exciting. But this card is unfortunately not a. I can't grade this. If I was to send it, basically, it would just send it back to me. Unfortunately, but yeah, I'd love to have this graded. But unfortunately, what I'm going to end up doing is I have these card frames, which you can see it up there above the Andre the Giant autograph. There's 4 Dallas Cowboy cards right there that are autographed. Most of them are authenticated, but basically those are like little slab frames. And what I'm going to do is just get like 4 different, like, I guess, anime characters that I really like, and these two would be one. These two would definitely be some of those. So I'm throwing both of those in and I'd get 2 more, obviously, anime character cards, and just throw them in and buy one of those. And then this one, I want to do the same thing, except I need to find 3 sideways cards, because the issue is if I wanted to frame it, I'd want it to be sideways, versus these would have to be upside. So if I was to frame these together, right, it'd be like this. And I just don't like how that looks personally, so gotta get 3 other cards that are sideways like this. Not sure if they'll be anime themed, they're just cards that are sideways that I like. Regardless, though, it's fine. These cards right here now. Some of these are just getting authenticated. The autograph cards, most of them will be. So we have The Undertaker. Spoiler for a fight with Haku and Tama, 2 wrestling legends. This is the Islanders. Like I said, Haku and Tama. Spoiler for a fight. Original WWF card, signed by them. Bought both of these from the same guy. They weren't authenticated. Said he had private sit down with them, supposedly. So, you know, I don't quite know. I'm pretty sure they're legit, but who knows. This New Jack card, which I bought off of New Jack's website. Rest in peace to New Jack. I haven't mentioned that. I know I've talked about him, me being a big fan. You know, unfortunately, he did pass, though. Lost him, I think. We lost him last year, I think. It's about to come on 2 years, obviously, since 2022, you know, creeping in and about to end. You know, the end of 2022 is creeping up on us. But, yeah, this New Jack card. Bought it straight off his website. This was actually the item I sent in alongside this to get graded, but they couldn't because they can't grade the card, but they can authenticate the autograph. What the hell? Oh, okay. Sorry, my phone was glitching there for a minute. Sorry, you guys. But they can authenticate the autograph, so I'm going to send it back in just with exclusively getting the autograph authenticated, so I thought that'd be cool. Have it in a slab, you know, whatnot. A Matthew Lillard signed Shaggy card. And this will be one of the only people I actually want to get a duplicate autograph of. My whole rule, for me personally, is I don't want to get multiple autographs of people. Like if I see a bulk item that has like 5 different people's autographs on it, and if I have one, if I do buy that item, I decide to get rid of the original item I have of it being signed. But this one, I wouldn't have that rule with, just because it has 2 significant different rules. Sorry, not rules. And that's because I'd actually want him to sign the poster over here that I have of these horror icons. And I'd love for him, along with the other original Ghostface, to sign it. Honestly, think those would be the only 2 people would have signed it, besides maybe the actor of what's her name, Sidney Prescott, signed it as well. And that'd be it for me as far as Ghostface autographs. Maybe I'd get more of the killers, but I don't know. I wouldn't probably get the newer killers, like the newest killers. I didn't care for that movie before. If you watched my videos before, then you probably know that. But yeah, thought that was cool. This is something that is also really cool that I actually got signed myself. This one I didn't. By the way, none of these before I have gotten signed by myself. I bought them apparently signed. So, but this one's really cool. I did get signed by myself. Sorry about that. This is signed by the Issei and Rias voice actors of the English dub, at least, of High School DxD. This is a Weiss-Schwarz card. I just really love the art of it. I originally bought it and I thought I'd just grade it. But then SAC Anime, if you don't know what SAC Anime is, it's just like a big anime convention that I go to quite often, even though I'm not the biggest anime fan. And that's me saying that when I have anime cards and I got Dragon Ball shit and whatnot, but I just haven't been watching that much of it, and that's just because I feel a lot of the plots are just generic now. It's just like I've seen this shit over and over, I feel. So, I don't know, I've just kind of had a burnout, at least for me. Speaking of just more anime shit, I forget her name, actually, to be quite honest with you, but this is the girl from, Is This a Zombie of the Dead? And if you're wondering why does she have a voice actor she never touched throughout the whole series, well, it's actually signed by the imagination voice in the main character's head. It's signed by that voice actor because obviously they still have to actually get someone to voice that version of her in his head in real life. So she's the one who actually signed this, like the imagination version actor of him in her head. Which I thought was really cool, because originally I didn't think about it, and then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, who the fuck did they actually get to sign it? And after some research, I found that out. But yeah, this one's guaranteed authentic, just because these are autographed ones by Weiss-Schwarz. That one is also guaranteed just because I got to sign myself. But these ones like this, actually are guaranteed because you get them in the pack like this, just signed. They get, there's a certain amount of them. Probably my favorite card out of the bunch, but this is Subaru. From Mayochiki, obviously, and this one is actually fucking signed and by the voice actor, and it's just amazing. Originally when I bought some Mayochiki cards. I actually wanted just to buy this one, but I didn't see a listing for it, and the guy who I bought them from eventually had this listing popped up, and I think it was like $70-$80, and I bought it in a heartbeat. I really want to get one of those sheet that she has, like a plushie of it. Haven't been able to find one, but yeah, just really was happy when I found this and thought it was absolutely amazing. He's another actual High School DxD character with Konoha, but this is the Japanese voice actor and not the English voice actor. So, just a little cool thing there. And it is, I think someone pointed out to me, was the season 4 artwork, which isn't, admittedly, it's the newer season artwork, which admittedly isn't horrible. The season itself isn't horrible, but the art I definitely didn't really care for, and I didn't watch it for that reason. But I heard it wasn't horrible. Oroshura, I forget the name of this woman. I'm sorry, it's been a while, but I'm definitely getting it graded. Just really remember loving her character in the show, even if she was like a bitch. But I love the ending of this show, how she actually ends up staying. She ends up actually staying with the guy that she forced to pretend to date her. Just an overall amazing story that I really found myself enjoying. And I wish there was another season, but there wasn't, unfortunately. Another Mayochiki card. This is just Subaru and I forget her master's name, but little promotion card that I got of them. It was a promotion card, and I ended up buying it. Then there's the main character, which his name is how am I? I'm sorry about this. I'm really drawing a blank, but I remember really liking his character as well. His relationship with Subaru is just cool. And by the way, if you watched Mayochiki and you really weren't satisfied by the ending, read the manga. It's so much better. The manga ending is so fucking amazing, and overall just really cool. Just really loved it. Manga's so much better. It's the thing that really got me to read manga, even though I've only read like 2 series. I started to read the 3rd one, but I haven't at all bought the 2nd volume to it. And this is the legendary Exodia Incarnate. Honestly, just getting this graded so I can put it next to my Exodia figure over here. I'm not expecting them to get too high of a grade. But, excuse me, just thought it was really cool. And then this one is a big bucker for me. This one is an absolute banger. This is Injection Fairy Lily. This is probably going to be the most valuable card, I'd assume. because this one I really do expect to actually get a good grade. Sorry, I dropped it there. It's an absolutely pristine. You know, obviously it's the is it the super ultra, the super rare? I forget like Yu-Gi-Oh terminology for rareness, but it's absolutely amazing. Uh, this is one of the ones that I actually may consider selling if I'm being quite honest. Then you get Dark Magician, which is also signed by the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! And believe it or not, I got this in a book fair. When you bought a manga, there was a manga that had like the start of all these different stories, and this was the card that you got with it. And I just thought that was like really, really, really cool. Then you get Charizard, which Charizard's just Charizard V. Still in the seal. I'll probably break it open before I send it there. I just haven't opened it just because I haven't had the need to. Then you have this one, which is absolutely amazing as well. This is a Charizard XYZ. So it isn't the original, but it still is worth some good money if you get a good grade on it. This one I'm expecting an 8 or a 9. I haven't been saying what grades I expect. I expected like a 10 on this one. Not too good of a grade on this one just because I've had it since I was a kid and it's one I played with. That one I expect a good grade, not the greatest. I expect it to be a 10. Expect it to be really well. Expect it to be a 10, and the rest of these are just authenticated autographs. I might get some of them. Actually, no. With these, I'm getting... With the ones that I know are already autographed are legit, I'm getting the card graded along with them. And for most of those, with these plastic seals and stuff, I'm expecting 10s, to be honest. I'd be a little actually surprised if they didn't get 10s. But I wouldn't, like, be super, super mad. Like I said, this one may be a 7. Injection Fairy Lily, I really have high hopes for. I'd really love if it would get a 10. Realistically, a 9 or an 8, I'd say, is safe, though. Like I said, I don't expect too high of a grade on this one. Just want it to have it slabbed, basically. Going back to these Charizards. Charizard V, I expect to be 10. And this, I expect to be like a 9 or an 8. This Charizard XYZ Hollow. Absolutely amazing card. Can't wait to like send these out one day this coming year. And Trainer Misty's Determination, definitely a card I'm sending out as well. This one is just because I love Misty, the character herself in the original series. So that's that, and that's all the cards I'm actually sending out. At least as of now, unless I come upon some other cards. Which honestly, there is other cards in my room that I would send. Sorry. There's these UFC cards. I know are legit though. Is my main reason why I haven't done it. What the hell? I thought there was a. Oh no. Okay. This is the Rose Namajunas autograph, along with a Fighter Award memorabilia. So I already know it's guaranteed that it is though. It's only issue, and my only issue of why I wouldn't want to with these cards is because if I was to get them to, if I was to do it, is because like I really do like Rose Namajunas. I know recently she's come into fire because of some things, because of her recent fight. Demetrius Johnson is definitely someone that hasn't though. He's been coming. This is in my opinion, the greatest fighter of all time. Demetrius Johnson right here, Mighty Mouse right here, bro. Greatest. My only issue with this card is it has a more than a slight rip right there, which is why I got it so cheap. I think I got it for like $10. So, yeah, but it still is autographed by him. So, what I may end up doing is just sending it in to get authenticated to have it in a slab. And the same thing with this one, just because I wouldn't want them side by side with one with a grade and one with just authenticity. Jesus Christ. I can't say anything right now. Okay, the reason I call myself a fucking dumbass. But yeah. By the way, the CD and the cassette tape I was talking about are right up here. The cassette tape is behind that Death Row figure. It's a straight up sealed Death Row. And even below it, there's an actual Death Row CD that has some weird Death Row tracks that I would consider getting graded if I find out. Actually, my God, my camera. Anyways, though, I guess just closing my final thoughts. I think grading is, personally me, I think grading is amazing just because it adds protection to items that you really just want to take care of, and just adds that extra security. And it's also cool just because it does set just kind of a price range on these things, because someone can say, oh yeah, this is mint, but it's not, like they have a scratch on the back or something. And of course, like, there's horror stories with grading companies, but to me, there's always going to be a fuck up with anything. So there's a reason that there's significantly amount of less horror stories when it comes to grading companies, especially from like the higher ups, like PSA and Beckett. Then there's lower amounts of that than like people being happy with their order. And that's because, again, just every now and then, you get a small fuck up. You fuck up. It's just expected in life. I mean, fuck, I'm a result of one. I'm not even joking about that either, but that's a story for another day. But again, just grading to me is just a really cool thing, because you're just preserving this thing and making sure it stays preserved. And to me, it's just really cool. And I mean, you're telling me you don't think this looks cool on a shelf, right? Like, fuck the grade, fuck the A+, just it being in thick plastic like this, so it doesn't get fucked up. You don't think that looks cool? If you said no, then I don't know. To me, this looks super professional as well. Not just that. Like, it just looks super professional. Oh yeah, something else I forgot to mention that I may consider getting graded is this Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle City, the Mystery Duelist, this DVD. It's also something else I may consider getting graded. But yeah. But again, let's just wrap this video up, since yeah, I definitely made it a bit longer than I needed to. Sorry for the long ass video. I'm hoping to have another video on either Christmas or a couple of days after Christmas, hopefully, and sometime in December, because I want to show off some gifts that I'm giving to my friends, just because some of them are really cool, some of them are really unique, and I want to show you guys them and then show my friends' reactions. I thought that'd be a really cool thing to do. And yeah, just sorry. Just overall, hope you guys have a nice Christmas, or just a happy holiday. If you don't, if you're atheist or whatever, you don't celebrate any of that shit. Just overall, hope you just have a good day, bro. On some real shit. Just hope you guys are doing good as well. Sometimes shit is tough out there, so just hope you guys are doing well and everything, dog. I'm talking to you guys as if I'm talking to a friend. Yeah. But seriously though, hope you guys are doing well. I don't have many viewers, but just really do hope you guys are doing well. So thank you for watching. If you have any thoughts on graded items yourself, especially if you're against it, drop opinion in the bottom. Maybe you can make some points against my arguments for them. Maybe you don't think they look good in the plastic, and you'd like to be able to actually grab onto these items, and you'd like to be able to hold them, not sure, just make your arguments in the comments. Please be if you are, please be respectful about it. I just don't call someone a fucking idiot just because they have an opinion. Like, you can say I disagree because of this and this and this statement, but just don't go, oh, you're a fucking idiot. And obviously just keep in mind what that person said, what's their reasoning behind it. So, but yeah, anyways, again, thank you guys. Hopefully see you guys in another video coming soon. Peace.